You're watching France 24 and we're going to leaf through the world's papers for you right now. Marion Henbest has done the honours this morning. Good morning, Marion. Let's start in the American press. And interesting article about the Islamist militant group GSPC. Tell us more about them.
That's right. Well, the New York Times featuring an article and publishing some sound as well of this interview with Abdul Malik Drukdul, an exclusive interview, apparently one of the first times he's ever spoken to journalists, talking about the uprising of the GSPC, known as the Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, describing how the group was failing in its battle against the Algerian military. And maths graduate Drukdul ended up sending a secret message to Iraq, to a chief of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. That's how the group ended up becoming what it's quoted here as saying one of the most potent Osama bin Laden affiliates. And Drukdul is quoted in the article as saying, if the US administration thinks that its war against Muslims is legitimate, then why shouldn't his war or his group's war on its territories also be considered as legitimate? So won't be hesitating in targeting the Bush administration wherever they can, apparently. And other papers also looking at this interview in the New York Times, commenting on it. El Watan, interesting to see that they point out that the timing of this is all quite interesting with the race for the White House presidential elections coming up in November in America, and terrorism policies could end up becoming a big factor in who's going to win there. And Liberté Algérée also commenting on the interview, saying that the terrorist leader, as they describe Drukdul, is using this opportunity to justify his group's crimes.
Well done to the New York Times there for that scoop. Libération here in France thinks it's got another one. Tell us about that.
That's right. A document sent from a certain Ali Akbar Velayati, who's an aide of Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader. This document says that the way that Iran has presented its nuclear activities has actually been counterproductive for Tehran, because the real aim of the country is to be an influence internationally and to also be a peace partner for various countries. Now, the Libération has done its own analysis of this document, is saying, well, there's no mention in it of the issues which normally anger Tehran. And again, looking at the timing of the document, again before the US elections, this could all be about getting nuclear guarantees from America.
Right, Marion, let's stay with the Middle East. And Syria appears to be making a bit of a comeback, at least on the pages of the world papers. Tell us why.
That's right. L'Orient Le Jour from Lebanon says that, yes, whereas Syria was previously quite isolated on the international front over sanctions, threats, and the way it treated Lebanon occasionally, now, like Egypt and Jordan, relations are improving with Israel, and this is a way of getting support from the US. Now, France has also had a role in making Syria's comeback in Europe, with the Mediterranean Union meeting coming up, and President Nicolas Sarkozy inviting Syria's president to that. Also, he's been invited to the Bastille Day celebrations here in France on July the 14th, and he's due to meet Sarkozy in Paris on the 12th as well. That's been quite controversial, and the paper commenting on that there.
Goodness me, so it's all about timing today in your press review, but let's go to Britain and economy versus the environment. What's that about? It can't be Wimbledon, is it?
That's right, no, it's not. But environment has come up top, and apparently, according to a poll by The Guardian, action against climate change is more important to British voters than economic downfall. And once seen apparently as a luxury to British voters, the environment, according to 52%, is now the most important thing, over 44% who say economy. Despite environmental schemes being expensive, and nearly 2/3 of people want green taxes. But interesting to point out that the British aren't particularly interested in sorting out problems themselves. They want the government to do all the work.
Right. Well, what can we say about that? Thank you very much indeed, Marion Henbest, for that review of the world's papers. Stay tuned to France 24.